Hello students, welcome again. Today we are going to discuss a new unit called vectors. Now, definitely I have assumed that you have undergone the preliminary ideas of vectors, and what I'm going to specifically discuss in vectors now is, especially in today's class, is how to find resultant of vectors if there are more than two in number. So, of course, you have learned a formula which is resultant equals to root over of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, where this is the resultant of two vectors a and b. This you have learned, and this formula works very good and it works very well for all the conditions so long there are two vectors. But now definitely you will encounter in physics course, or definitely you will encounter many numericals where you will have more than two vectors to solve. Okay, so in those cases, how we have to do these questions, that is what we are going to learn today. Now before I start, I want to give you this data. Like you are aware of the fact that sine 0 is 0, sine 30 degree is 1 by 2, sine 45 sine 45 degree is 1 by root 2, sine 60 degree is root 3 by 2, and sine 90 degree is 1. You can see that the value of sine function increases as the value of theta increases. From 0 it goes to 0.5 and then it goes increases and then it becomes 1. Now why I am giving you this data? Because I want you to remember two more angles, and that is called sine 37 degree and sine 53 degree. Okay, sine 37 will be equal to your 3 by 5 and sine 53 degree will be equal to 4 by 5. Okay. Similarly, you have cos 0 is equal to 1, cos 30 degree is equal to root 3 by 2, cos 37 degree will be equal to 4 by 5, and cos 45 degree will be equal to 1 by root 2, cos 53 degree will be equal to 3 by 5, cos 60 degree will be equals to half, and cos 90 degree will be equal to 0. Okay, and if you take this data also, tan 37 degree, that will be equal to tan 37 will be equal to sin 37 divided by cos 37, that is equal to your 3 by 4, and tan 53 degree will be equals to 4 by 3. Now where comes this angle? See, this angle comes from this triangle which you have learned in hypotenuse in Pythagoras theorem. If this is 3 and this is 4, then this angle will be equal to 37 degree and the hypotenuse is 5. If this is 4 and this is 3, this is 4, this is 3, then this angle will be equal to 53 degree and this will be equal to hypotenuse 5. So this is the triangle, the famous triangle. Every teacher prefers to teach this triangle when they teach Pythagoras theorem for the first time. 3, 4 and 5, very famous triangle. Okay. So it comes from there. So with that, this you already know about this. So let's try to understand here how to do the vectors when there are multiple, when there are more than two vectors. Okay. Now let's hear. So the first thing is the concept of resolution of vectors. That also I am assuming that you have gone through it, but still I just give a small preview on that. So suppose if this is my vector A and it makes an angle of theta with the horizontal, then we know that we can write this vector A into two components. I can write this vector as in the form of its x component in the form of I cap, plus in the form of its y component in the form of j cap. So this is my x and this is my y. So what is x and y? Ax and Ay are the horizontal and perpendicular component of my vector A. Now how to find the value of Ax AX and AY. Now we can use this triangle over here, and if I use the triangle over here, let us say cos theta. Cos theta will be equal to base by hypotenuse. So base is AX and hypotenuse is A. So the base component is always the cos function, A cos theta. And then similarly I can use the sin theta again. Sin theta will be is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. And this implies my perpendicular component is A sin theta. See, henceforth I will cut this short. Okay, I will not do in this detailed way. I will just say, I will utter the words like this: the base component and the perpendicular component. The base see, in cos function the base comes, base by hypotenuse, correct? So the cos component will, the base component will be always cos function, and the perpendicular will be always sin function, because in sin perpendicular by hypotenuse appears, correct? So next time when I draw any triangle and this angle is theta, this becomes the base, this becomes the perpendicular, so I will write directly perpendicular component is A times of sin theta and base component is A times of cos theta. This is how I am going to use. Correct? So this one I can now write as A cos theta I cap plus A sin theta j cap. Okay, this is how I can write my vector A in terms of its I component and j component. Okay, next thing. So what we did here, if the hypotenuse was given to you, that means the resultant was given to you, I was able to find its x component and the y component. What if the question is in the other way around? In the other way around, if I say that this component is 3 and this component is 4, I want to know how much is this. Correct? So how will I write? Let us consider that this vector is A vector. So I will first write A vector is equal to its x component vector. What is x component vector? X component vector is 3 of I cap plus y component vector is 4 of j cap. Now how to find this the magnitude of A? We know the rule. The rule is root over of 3 square plus 4 square. That means this is 3, 4, and because this is 90 degree, so we can use the logic as 3 square plus 4 square. Okay, and that will eventually come out as 5. So I can write that this A magnitude is equal to 5. So I have discussed two types here. What if the resultant is given to you? How will you, or what if your hypotenuse component is given to you and you need to know x component and y component? Or what if you know the x component and y component and you need to find the value of A? Okay. With this fundamentals, now let's move ahead. That let's deal with the question over here. Say that I have 3 vectors in space, okay, and I want to know the resultant of these 3 vectors. Now how these 3 vectors are given to me? The 3 vectors which are given to me are in this manner. This is my vector A. Let us deal with the force is a vector. Okay, so let me consider a force of 10 Newton is pointing along this direction. Let us call that another force over here in this direction, and let me call that as 20 Newton. Say that it makes an angle of 37 degree. And let us say that there is one more vector over here in space. There is one more vector over here in space, and let us consider that this is also equal to 20 Newton. But it makes an angle of 90 degree with the horizontal. So that means this angle is 90 degree. So one vector acting along y-axis, one vector acting along x-axis, and one vector acting in between them, that is 20 Newton. Now how we are going to get this resultant of these 3 vectors? So if these 3 vectors act simultaneously on a body, then what will be the resultant motion or resultant force of the body, and at what angle the body is going to move? Okay, so from here how we go ahead. So for that you always consider the vectors to be in A. Just name them as A, B and C. Okay. Now you write the vector A. How much is your vector A? Vector A is acting along x-axis. Okay, so that is equal to 10 I cap. Vector A has nothing along the y-axis, so it's 0 j cap. Now let's go to vector C. Vector C has nothing along. This is vector C. It has nothing along x-axis. Plus, it has 20 Newton along j-axis. Now comes the vector B. Vector B. Vector B is acting along this direction. So for vector B, this is my vector B. So what is this component of vector B? This angle is 37 degree. Now this component is a base component for vector B. So I will write here as 20 cos 37. And this is the perpendicular component of vector B. So I will write here as 20 sin 37. Okay. So I will write over here vector B as 20 cos 37 I cap plus 20 sin 37 j cap. Correct? This is how we are going to write. And then we will simplify this. What is cos 37? Cos 37 is 4 by 5. Okay? Cos 37 is 4 by 5. So 20 into 4 by 5 I cap plus 20 into sin 37. Sin 37 is 3 by 5. So sin 37 degree is 3 by 5. And this will be j cap. And I will cancel this 2. This becomes 4. 5 4 is 20. 4 4 is 16. So I will write here as 16 I cap plus this will get cancelled out. 4 3 is 12. So this is 12 j cap. So I got my vector B. This is my vector B. 16 I cap plus 12 j cap. Okay. I hope there is no doubt over here. See, I'll just explain this one. Automatically you will understand the y component. My x component vector is in this direction, correct? And it is given as 10 Newton. If I have to find anything along its perpendicular direction, so I said the vector A has 10 along x direction and nothing along j direction. Why this has nothing along j direction? Because this angle is how much? This angle is 90 degree. So if I have to find the component along this direction, that will be 10 cos 90. 10 cos 90 is 0. So this is a general rule. So if a vector is acting along x direction, it has nothing in y direction. If a vector is acting along y direction, it has nothing along x direction. Only this 20 Newton B vector will have something along x direction and something along y direction. This will have nothing along x direction. This will have nothing along y direction. Okay. Or you can, if you want to understand this in a proper rule, the rule is like this. If this is a vector in space, this is my vector A, then this vector A will have nothing along a direction perpendicular to it. So if I say this is my vector A and this is a direction perpendicular to it, so this vector will have nothing along the direction perpendicular to it. Okay? A vector's component in a direction perpendicular to it is always 0. So if there are two lines and both the lines are perpendicular to each other, so if a vector is acting along line 1, then it will have no component along line 2. And if a vector is acting along line 2, then it will have no component along line 1. Okay, that's the rule. Okay, so we have got A, C, B. Now how to find resultant? Vector addition law. What is vector addition law? A vector plus B vector plus C vector. Now what is my A vector? A vector is 10 I cap. What is my B vector? B vector is 16 I cap plus 12 j cap. So this is my B vector, this is my A vector, and now comes my C vector. C vector is 20 j cap. So this is 20 j cap. And now you start simplifying it. This is I cap 16. So 16 I cap, 10 I cap. So you are only supposed to add the same unit vectors. Okay, so 10 and 16, that is 26 I cap plus 10. Oh, sorry, it's done. 12 j cap plus 20 j cap. So that becomes 32 j cap. Okay, so this is my resultant vector. How to find the magnitude of this? The magnitude of this resultant can be now found out by using a drop or using the same logic. If these two components are 26 I cap plus 32 j cap, then how does it look like? Any idea how does it look like? 26 I cap plus 32 j cap. You know how does it look like? It looks like this. 26 I cap and this is your 32 j cap. And this is my resultant R and this is my angle beta which I am going to find out. So the resultant R I am going to find and the magnitude as well as direction. So 26 square, you know the rule, and 32 square. Okay. What is the resultant angle? Resultant angle is always perpendicular divided by base. Perpendicular is 32 and base is 26. So perpendicular is 32 and base is 26. And then you start simplifying, use your calculator to get the correct answer. This is how we find the resultant and the angle. The resultant angle. One more question, let's try to find out. Say that in a space I have a scattered vector system. So let us say one vector is acting along this direction, one vector is acting along this direction, and one vector is acting along this direction. Let's say this vector is again 10, this vector is 20, and let's say that this vector is 5. Okay. Say that this makes an angle of 37 degree. This makes an angle of, okay, I will take the angle with respect to this. Okay, this makes an angle with the vertical as 53 degree. Okay, just wait. This part is, I think, not properly visible in the camera. So I will write over here. This is your 5 Newton. Not Newton, let us say anything. This is your 10, such that it makes an angle of 37 degree, and this one, let us say this makes an angle of 53 degree, and let us say this is 20. Value is 20. So 20, 50. See, in question they will make, they specify with vertical. The angle is made with vertical or the angle is made with horizontal. So I am using both the concept in one particular question. 20, 10 and 5. These are the three vectors over here. Now, first of all, what we are supposed to do is name them. So just name it. This is called A, this is called B, and this is called C. If there are 4 vectors, make it D. 5 vectors, make it E. No issue. Okay. Okay, let's do with 4 vectors here in this question only. Say that there is one more vector over here, and that vector is 15 Newton or 15, let us say, and this makes an angle of 37 degree. Okay, so A vector, B, C, and then this is your D vector. Okay, so this is my D vector. So I will write A vector. How will I write A vector? Now, A vector is only pointing along y direction, correct? You have to get entire thing in y and x. If something is already acting along y and x, that's a bonus for you. Okay, like A vector. A vector is already and perfectly acting along y direction, so it's a bonus for you. So it has nothing along I direction, but it has 5 along minus j direction. Correct? It's downward, minus j. Okay, which I can also write as minus of 5j. Can I write like this? I hope that you must knowing about this. So I can write this for as 0 I cap minus 5j cap. I can also write like this because minus will come out, so it becomes minus 5j cap. Okay. B vector. What is B vector? B vector is 10, 37. So 10 cos 37 This is the base part and this is the perpendicular part. Base perpendicular, base perpendicular. Cos 37 I cap plus 10 sin 37 j cap. Okay? Okay. C vector. Who is C? This fellow is C. Now this is the 53. So this becomes my base. Remember now 53 angle is made with this line, this line. So if this is the line with which the angle 53 is being made, that means this will become my base component, because as per the trigonometry rule, whichever side the angle is made, okay, the angle in trigonometry, if this is your if these are the two sides, then and if you draw a perpendicular, then obviously this one is the base and this one is the perpendicular. Okay, so and if I change this angle theta to, let us say, this angle theta, if I make this angle theta, so for this becomes hypotenuse, this becomes the base and this becomes the perpendicular. So depending upon angle where the angle is situated, your base and perpendicular changes. The line with which the angle is made is the base component. So this is my base component. Obviously this is hypotenuse. So 20 cos 53. This is 20. This is base. This is perpendicular. So 20 cos 53. I cap. And then plus 20 sin 53. Sorry, not I cap, j cap. Because 20 cos 53 is acting along j direction. So 20 cos 53 j cap and 20 sin 53 minus I cap. Okay. So this is 20 sin 53. Now 20 sin 53 is acting along negative x axis. So minus I cap. 20 cos 53 is acting along plus j cap. Now don't get confused with xy and base and perpendicular. Okay. Base and perpendicular is with respect to a triangle where the angle theta is located. That will decide which one is base and which one is perpendicular. Whereas I and j cap are with respect to the x axis and the y axis. Okay. So 20 cos 53 j cap and 20 sin 53 minus I cap. This I can now write as minus 20. I will write the I cap first. So minus 20 sin 53. What is sin 53? Sin 53, if I remember, sin 53 is 4 by 5. So multiplied by 4 by 5. So minus 20, 4 by 5 I cap plus 20 cos 53. So 20 cos 53 is 3 by 5. And this will be your j cap. And then you can simplify, you will get the C I cap and j cap. So that I will write as minus 4 16. So minus 16 I cap. This becomes 20. So it becomes 12 j cap. So I got the value of C. What about D? Where is D? This is D. Now in this D, this angle is 37. So if this angle is 37, look at here. This angle is 37. So this becomes the base. This becomes the base. And again, right here, D equals to 15. And this becomes a perpendicular. Okay, so this is D. So this is cos, this is sin. So I will write here as cos. So that is 15 cos 37. Which direction? This direction is I cap. Sorry, minus I cap. So minus I cap plus. And then this one is D sin. This one is D sin. Okay. So D is 15. 15 sin 37 direction minus j cap. And now let's simplify D also. So D will be equal to 15 cos 37. What is cos 37? Cos 37 is 4 by 5 minus I cap plus 15 sin 37. Sin 37 is 3 by 5 minus j cap. So this becomes 3, 5 and 15 will get cancelled. 3, 4, 3 are 12. So you will get 12 minus 12 I cap, because this minus I can take it out, plus 15, 5 5 is 15, 3 3 are 9. So you will get this one as 9. 9, and I will write here as minus, and then I will write here as j cap. Okay. And now how to find the resultant? resultant will be is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. Now what is A vector? A vector is minus 5 j cap. 0 I cap and minus 5 j cap. B vector, B vector. Okay, I didn't simplify this B vector, I guess. Okay, I didn't simplify the B vector. Now if I just simplify the B vector, cos 37 is 4 by 5. So this becomes 10 into 4 by 5 I cap plus 10 into 3 by 5 j cap. Okay. So this is my A vector plus B vector. Now B I am going to write directly. So 5 and 10 will cancel and becomes 2. 4 2s are 8. So 8 I cap. This becomes 2. 3 2 just 6. So plus 6 j cap plus C vector. C vector is minus 16 I cap plus 12 j cap. Okay, plus D vector. Always use bracket here first. D vector is minus 12 I cap minus 9 j cap. Now let's see the I component first. This is 8i, this is minus 16i, this is minus 12i. So minus 16 minus 12 will become minus 28. Minus 28 plus 8, that becomes minus 20. So you will write here as minus 20 I cap. Now deal with the j cap. So this is 6j plus 6j plus 12j. 6 plus 12. 6 plus 12 is 18. 18 and then you have minus 9 here. 18 minus 9 is 9. Okay? And then 9 minus 5. 9 minus 5 is 4. So you will have plus 4 j cap. Okay? Yeah, looks good. So this is my R vector. Okay, this is my R vector. R vector is equal to minus 20 I cap plus 4 j cap. Do you know how this looks like? It looks like minus 20 I cap. Now minus 20 I cap can I write as 20 of minus I cap plus 4 of j cap. So how does this resultant will look like of that entire system? This will have 20 along minus I cap. This is my 20 along minus I cap. Okay, this is 20 minus I cap. Then you have 4 j cap. This is my 4 j cap. So the resultant will be like this. This is my resultant R. And how will you find the, and what is this angle beta? This angle beta, I can now find the resultant angle beta. So I can find tan beta, that is equal to perpendicular divided by base. So perpendicular divided by base. Okay, and then you simplify. And how will you find the mod, the resultant magnitude? Magnitude you can find by finding the square of this. So square of 20 and square of 4. So 20 square plus 4 square. And this is how you find the resultant. Okay. I'll give you 2 more questions. Just practice and see what you get. Okay. Thank you for watching, and we will meet in the next class with some more concepts on vectors.